talk about Penta's past matches, they haven't been as successful as Virtus.pro in their past 5 matches at least. They have won against MyKPV in the CCS qualifier at least. They have lost against Fnatic in the ESEA Season 18 with a 7-16 scoreline on Dust 2. They have lost against Mousesports in the same league, 16-19 on Nuke. And they have won Inferno against Mousesports with a 16-8. So mixed results against the German counterparts. And a loss against Copenhagen Wolves on the ESEA season. Mixed results for Penta. Of course, they removed their in-game leader. Now let's see what they are able to do without him in this pistol round on Cobble. They take it to the middle at first, having Crystal hang back and cover their backs. And Crystal will see action, battling it out on the far approach, but not actually hitting his shots. Penta now pushes forward into the A bomb site. And they will be flanked by Snacks, who gets himself the first headshot of the match. Then it's Speedy to reply, and it's a 4v4 situation. Then it's down to 27 HP already, and Trouble goes down to Neo. Great headshot there. Trouble wasn't even remotely able to reply any damage to Neo, and the CTs take retreat in the deeper sides of the A bomb site. Speedy with a second frag removes Neo. Then Crystal blows up Bialy. It's a 3v2 situation, but the terrorists are so low on HP. They're basically one shot, one kills, and there is Taz with his first bullet onto Dennis, assisted by a Penta player. Must have been a team tag and all that fuss. 2v2 situation. Now the bomb is moving towards the B bomb site. At least the money will get into the bank accounts of Penta. But maybe they can't hold on to the planted C4 as the CTs are now forced to rotate as well. It is Crystal in their backs. Speedy just trying to defend himself from being pushed by the CTs. Taz moves in. Taz with a good headshot there makes it a 2v1. And Crystal is so far away, he's actually rushing. He gives away his position, and it's no problem for Taz to take him out. 1-0. Virtus.pro climbing into the round a little bit. They had the early advantage thanks to Snacks' kills. Then they gave it away again thanks to Speedy's double kill and the nade by Crystal. And then they were down in a 3v2 situation, and they handled it perfectly. Came out on top of that, and now the CT's in a prone position to take this first half. Of course, after winning the pistol round, it is mandatory to win the next. The bomb got planted, so Penta will be able to purchase weapons in this following round. And the Germans will then see where this game is going, if they can upset Virtus.pro on the terrorist side here on Cobble or not. And there is Next with a stellar headshot onto Neo after Neo took out Trouble with the P90 spray. Rifle captured for the terrorists. Let's see if they can do anything else with that. Snacks goes down to Next. Next on a killing spree here. Now P90 to the face of Taz. Next with a third frag. Now it's a 2v3 situation. And the terrorists are actually cleaning the A bomb site without knowing it. The CT is on the doorstep. Bialy tries to gain control over that, or just keep an eye out for the terrorist movement as they get their hands onto a Max 7. Not actually sure now. Crystal has that M4A4. And the terrorists in a very good position to make it 1-1. Penta moves into the A bomb site. Bialy in the back of the bomb site. Tag down to 16 HP. Still gets a headshot onto Crystal. Removes that rifle. Makes it a 2v2. But now they push in together. They try to plant the bomb. But they know that there is CTs around, so they need to hurry it up. And there goes the C4. Pasha already on the rotation with his Max 7 and the pistol. It's not going to help very much, as he's forced away again. Penta in this 2v2, holding down the angle. Speedy with his first frag of the round with the Tech 9 out of 1v1. Pasha with the Max 7, and Pasha gets himself the second frag as well. I was about to say that the Max 7 is not the right weapon of choice in this situation, but Pasha made it count. And Virtus.pro got really scared by Penta in this round. Next with 3 kills on the entry. Great job by him, showing that he's the man to watch in the German scene. But Penta was not able to win the round, and Virtus.pro got away with it just a slither of an inch was missing for Penta to get out with a 2v1 situation at hand. The Germans could have possibly made it 1-1, then the CT's money would have been screwed. It would have been probably a 2-1 scoreline, and that would have been a really good start into the game for the Germans. Now they are still down, but they purchase rifles, and the CTs only have a Nova for Neo. No AWP for them. Neo goes down to Speedy, who's once again opening up the round for the Germans, losing almost all of his HP, but still staying alive, and that's the key in this game. If you get the frag, try to stay alive somehow, just to make the CTs worry about an additional player. Now the T's on the rotation towards the A bomb site, back from the B bomb site, back to the bigger one. Or well, it's actually smaller, but it's usually the bigger one. Snacks holds himself on there, being flanked in a second. 3-4 players coming from down below, one from the side. He needs to watch out, he needs to call and fall back up really quick, but it's smoked off. The CTs trying to gain some momentum on the A bombs, are trying to get some buddies over there, and Snack removes one of the terrorists, then a second one. Great effort by him. Then he goes down to Trouble, but Taz recovers the A bomb site with his M4A4 before going down to Dennis. It's a 2v1 situation once again. The CTs climb back into the round thanks to 2 double kills by Snacks and Taz on the A bomb side. Dennis still gets the bomb planted, sprays down the first. Bialy is down and out, but he turns around into the wrong direction. Pasha is there, saves the round, saves the day once again for Virtus.pro. And he's got 3 kills and 3 amazingly important ones as well. Staying alive as the last man together with Taz in 1. And winning that 1v1 situation twice. And actually one of them was a 2v1 situation. Great job by Pasha. The biceps is strong in this one. And Penta's biceps is slowly but surely shrinking. 2 Tech 9s in this one, 4 Tech 9s for the squad. Crystal with the P250, and they take it to the B bomb site. 3 CTs over there already. They get smoked off, but Pasha hops up. Oh, Bialy robbed that frag, but Nex gets 1 headshot before Neo silences him. Neo with his second of the round. 4v2 situation. Dennis and Trouble trying to remove a few weapons, and Trouble is successful in doing that. Actually captures himself the M4, but gets caught with a nade in his hands by Snacks, who quickly got on top of the situation. And look at the HP of the CTs. It could have gone into a 3v1 or a 2v1 situation once again if Pasha and Taz caught 1 more damage. Well, it was 2 for Pasha, I believe. 4-0 nonetheless. Nobody will ask how many or how much HP it was for the CTs at the end of the rounds. It is the round that counts, and Virtus.pro has got 4 of them. Currently looking at a flawless CT side, but Penta now with the second AWP for Crystal against the full rifle lineup of Virtus.pro. And the T's will take it slow. They want to have the first frag in the back before they make their actual move, as Trouble tries to get some damage through the smoke. Puts Pasha down to 11 HP actually. And Pasha needs to remove himself from the occasion, tries to hide away in the deeper sides, but Taz with the first frag actually onto Nex, making it a 4v5 situation. And the CT is now in a good position to make it a 5-0 and keep Penta's momentum down and low as possible as they can. Germans move forward into the A bomb set right now against 2 CTs, 1 close and 1 on the back a little bit, trying to flash each other in, and a good flash by Neo support player was Snacks back in there, but Neo just got 1 frag before being taken out. Now it's Snacks to recover and make it a 2v4. The terrorists once again get denied the chance that they had. Dennis trying to pull it back for the squad with his AWP shot onto Snacks, making it a 3v2, but only temporarily. Taz is once again quick with the rotation, and the move is obvious for the CTs. 10 seconds on the clock. Penta doesn't have enough time anymore. Trouble needs to retreat, maybe get that AWP out if he gets his hands on that, but he actually doesn't, so he just stays with his AK. And he won't risk his life. That would have been an amazingly stupid move. Penta saves one rifle but gives away the round. And Virtus.pro with their 5th in a row. Despite the fact that they have been down in a few 1v1 situations and it could have gone either way, especially in the second round of this match. The Polish side now have gained concrete ground under their feet and they are trying to take it away from the Germans, who get flashed. Probably still gets a frag on the Snacks through that flash, avoids his teammates a little bit. He almost sprayed them down as Crystal moves into the A bomb set from the side. Good flanking movement by Penta, taking the attention to the main entrance and then coming in from the flank. Crystal gets himself one, assisted by his teammate. Pasha now on the rotation, gets himself the frag onto next, makes it a 2v3. But they are smoked off. The CTs can't retake yet. They need to wait for the smoke to clear, and then they need to figure out if it's actually worth risking all their equipment. And they decide to not risk that AWP and the defuse kit and of course the helmet and the armor. They rather have all that equipment for the next round. And Penta winning their first terrorist side after 6 rounds. That's more or less the usual count. If you keep an eye on that, on the CT-sided maps, and that means almost every single map in CSGO, the terrorist squad, if they lose the pistol round, they usually pick up their first round after, 5-6 rounds. That's usually the time that the terrorists get the first round on the board. And then it's up to the CTs to make something happen. And at the moment, Virtus.pro does not have too many rifles to actually make anything happen. They, of course, save 2 rifles, the AWP for Pasha and the M4A4. But they don't have enough money for Taz and Nia to purchase real rifles, a Nova and a CZ75 for them. And that is just because Penta repeatedly kept their numbers low. They reduced the CTs to 1 or 2 people. They couldn't save all the money, so now the Germans on that position to make the CT save if they win this one. Crystal with the opening frag onto Taz, but he was more or less a decoy. He was sent there to get information, maybe take down one with the CZ75, and he wasn't successful in doing that. Next is successful on the opening frag on the B bomb site, probably follows it up with 1 headshot and makes it a 5v2 situation already. Penta looking good now that they have picked up the first round. They try to get back into this game as Dennis tags next with his smoke. The bomb is smoked off, but well, it doesn't matter anymore. Snacks just wants to hold on to his rifle, maybe get an exit frag or 2, but it probably won't happen for him. They are still spraying the smoke. They kind of expect him to be there. Penta on the exit, taking another route as well. Snacks just hides away in the drop zone. And the terrorists are actually coming his way. In the end, he gets himself 2 frags then before being taken out by Trouble. Made it a little bit more expensive for the terrorists to take it home. But Penta will not care about the money right now, as they are happy to get their second round on the board. Now they are up against that eco round of the CTs, and we've seen a few of them go into the CT's favor on Cobble already. Virtus.pro going for a 4-man stack over at the A bomb site, 3 in a line, and Snacks over there to flash in for them. And it would be horrible for Penta if they gave this round away. It would demolish all the momentum they had picked up in the previous rounds. Now next with the first one onto Neon. Let's see what Snacks is doing. The CT is eager to get some frags back. Snacks flashes in. The CTs move in, get 1 frag, but then they get refragged and decimated to 2 people. 4v2. Snacks still on the A bomb side. The terrorists don't know that yet, but he will show himself with a headshot onto Dennis. Great chance for them. Pasha picked up an AK as well, and he's coming in from behind, maybe surprising the terrorists on the approach on the A bomb site. 3v1 situation. Pasha could actually make it happen if he surprises them in time. He spots himself the first 2 targets, gets himself the first onto Crystal. Now expect somebody to flank him, and he has his number, but Trouble just walks past him and makes him hit the floor. 5-3 now. 2 rounds between the 2 teams. Virtus.pro is back on rifles, and they need to pick that round up. There is no way around that. If they give this round away, it would be 4-5. And considering the money situation for the CTs, depending on how many rifles they save, it could be a save round for them after that, and then it would be 5-5. Horrible scoreline for the CTs. Dennis and Neo exchange the first few frags in a main. And the terrorists move forward to the B bomb site actual. And Pasha is there on the edge, getting himself the frag, making it a 3v4. But Crystal with the refrag onto Pasha. Next storms out of the smoke to surprise Bialy, making it a 3v2. The CT's on the rotation from the A bomb site, but it's easy to be smoked off by the terrorists. They still worry about somebody that is close by. Crystal will take him out casually with that scope. Really swift aim. Neo is still there. He's standing on the edge of the smoke. Gets himself one, but then gets killed by Nex. 5-4. As I said, the CTs didn't save a single rifle. And now they need to save. And it will be slightly upgraded save there with a 5.7, a CZ 75 in there, and a few P250s for the rest of the squad. But the Germans look good on the first map here in their first game of the Go Champions League. Brought to you by Dreams Media and, of course, 99 Damage. I am Dabu from Germany, if you have wondered who's talking. And this is Virtus.pro against Penta. 3v2 situation. Good trades by the CTs. Pasha with another one, making it hard for the terrorists to clinch that round. And they should go over to the A bomb site if they knew how many players were on the B side. They could have rotated, but Nex just shoots the flower and the head of Pasha at the same time, removing the rifle that the CTs had. Nex is now on the rotation with his P250 coming in from the same direction. Nex hoses him down a little bit to 32, and Nex will not have any of that fight. 5-5. Drawing the game are the Germans, and let's take a look on the scoreboard and see that Nex is sitting on top of a squad with 12 frags. Simply outstanding performance by him. On the other side we have 10 for Snacks and 8 for Pasha. The CT's back on rifles and they go for the first double AWP setup that they can afford, and one of them gets removed already. Neo is down on the aggressive move. Crystal had his number and Crystal was checking that spot so many times. He was always the guy to hang back over there and keep an eye out for the CT's aggressive moves if they should play that aggressive move. And well, it did haunt the CTs. Now Taz needs to make up for Neo's mistake there. Gets himself the first headshot, then Snatch chimes in with one. Nex and Speedy, however, equalize it back to a 3v2 situation. Equalizing the trade on the A bomb side. Pasha and Bialy with the rotation, not really fast, but the terrorists just swarmed into the A bomb site. There was not much time for the CTs to actually make a move. And now Bialy and Pasha crammed into that little room. The terrorists spread out. And I'm not quite sure what that lag means. As Bialy gets himself one at least. Speedy with the refrag, making it a 2v1. Pasha is wasting a lot of time and he actually wants to save that AWP. He just stays around to cut that terrorist off from the retreat. And Pasha will have no trouble taking out Speedy there, but well, the ground goes to the terrorists and it's 6-5. Penta taking 6 rounds in a row. That's looking very, very strong for them. I didn't expect that, to be honest, even though I'm German myself and, you know, blah, 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 bias and all that. No, I'm actually not very biased. Maybe if Gobi is playing, yeah. You might argue that I'm biased when he's playing, but I tend to be more or less unbiased commentator, and I didn't expect Penta to take 6 in a row. I thought, okay, they could take 3, and then Virtus.pro will come back with a rifle round or something like that. I certainly didn't expect Virtus.pro to give away that double AWP setup that they just tried to go with. But Penta is just a little bit too fast, in my opinion. They don't give the CTs a chance to adjust. If they get the opening frag, they are on site already. And that's something that, of course, makes it hard for Virtus.pro to get some buddies on the site and to help each other try to get a retake, a decent retake, you know, a coordinated retake with maybe 3 players flashing and smoking in. They usually end up in a 3v2 situation at the end of those rounds that Penta has won. It always has been a 3v2 or a 4v2 even. And Virtus.pro just couldn't get back into the side at all. I mean, they only have one entrance basically, and that was covered by the terrorists already. So the Poles couldn't actually get back to the C4 to defuse it. As soon as Penta is on the side, the round was or is almost over for them. Now Pasha with a different setup with his AWP on the B bomb site, trying to hold the terrorists at bay. Speedy just stressing on the A bomb site a little bit, making the CTs think that there's something around, trying to get a Molotov in there and trying to flame Snacks's feet. But Snacks does not take any damage off that, especially. Wow, Pasha goes down to Crystal on that boost. Cheeky play by Penta to get that frag. Completely surprising. Pasha was not prepared for that. Now Penta, as I said, they get the opening frag and now they are on site already, trying to keep the CTs from getting the retake going. As Speedy comes in delayed, Bialy will dispose of him. Snacks with one onto Neo, but Taz with a reply. Now Crystal with the re-frag, and he misses a crucial shot, but then he steps up for his teammate and makes it a 2v1 in the end. Snacks now on the rotation, but well, he's spotted already and Trouble has him pinned down. Good team play by Penta. When Crystal missed his shot, Dennis was instantly around to take down the CT that was firing on the skilled player, and Penta make it 7-5. Now Virtus.pro is struggling with not only the economy but also with the momentum. Their minds will probably be a little bit, yeah. Oh, look at that. Speedy with that nade on the head. Their minds will be crushed, or well, maybe not crushed, that is a little bit exaggerated, but they will be thinking about the outcome of this match. Surely they are not happy how the things turned in this matchup, and maybe they can make up for that with those 2 shotguns for Snacks and Pasha, Max 7 and a Nova for the 2. FMAS for Taz, so it's a very weak buy for the CTs right now, and Penta is already on the doorstep of the A bomb site, spotting Snacks. Neo with the refrag on the other side, basically. Oh well, where's Neo? He is actually on the A bomb site. He got himself one on the entry, but now the terrorist on the doorstep of the A bomb site. Taz and Bialy with 2 in the end got himself back onto the bomb site and got himself the round. Virtus.pro upsetting Penta now that the Germans kind of figured out how the CTs work. Virtus.pro was faster with the rotation, and before the Germans could capture the A bomb site completely, Virtus.pro had Bialy on site and he was doing the damage to the Germans. Now we are back on a save round for the terrorists. They were not able to save enough money in the past few rounds, so they have a 4-man Tech 9 lineup and an AK for Dennis. So it's still something to work with for the terrorists, but CTs are now back on real rifling. Neo and Taz with the first 2, Crystal with the refrag, but Bialy spots himself the rest of the action, and 3 quick headshots by him, just showing off his aim skills. Will draw the game at 7 each, and the CTs are back in the game. They might take it to the 8-7, and then Virtus.pro needs to win the second pistol round to kind of have the same terrorist side that Penta has. Or maybe they are able to pull off the same winning streak that Penta did in the middle of this match. The Germans now with a 4-man AK lineup. They get quickly disposed of by the CTs. Neo and Snacks with the aggressive move in the underpass to the A bomb side. 3v5 situation. Speedy is down to 30, next down to 24, and Crystal is taken out completely as Neo moves forward with his 3rd frag of the round. He quickly makes it 8-7. Kind of looked like Penta was caught off guard by that crossfire setup with Snacks and Neo on the entrance of the A bomb site, and Virtus.pro at least won the first half, even though an 8-7 scoreline is not actually what they were hoping for when they started on the CT side. 13 frags for Snacks and Bialy. 15 frags for Nex and 11 for Crystal on the CT side. Now Penta starting their more or less easier side. Let's see if they can actually get a few more rounds than Virtus.pro did and win the first map. Of course, each map is worth 1 point in the league, and the top 6 teams of this league will move on to the playoffs. Pasha opening up the fragging onto Troubly, but Speedy puts some decent damage into Taz and Bialy there, down to 24 HP for each of the 2 players. 4v5 situation. Still the terrorists now squeezed through the CT's lines, and they are on the doorstep of the A-bomb side, being pinched in by the CTs. Now Crystal with a frag onto Neo. Pasha and Bialy get themselves 1 each, and suddenly it's a 2v4 situation as PD moves in. He gets dropped. Dennis is now the last man standing for the Penta squad, and Taz has him pinned down already, and there's no chance for him anymore. Taz will win that battle and make it 9-7. Pistol round on the board for Virtus.pro, doing exactly what I told them to do. Winning the pistols, of course, relieving some of the pressure off them. If Penta had won the CT pistol, they could have taken it away to a 9-8 scoreline maybe, and it would have been way harder for the Virtus.pro squad. Now the Poles with the buy round, more or less. They have 2 AKs, a shotgun and a Uzi for Neo, and Snacks makes that shotgun work already. Crystal taking a look out of the window. Nobody there around. Virtus.pro is executing on the B bomb site, where Penta has 3 players of their 4 remaining CTs positioned quite nicely close by. So Nex with that 5-7 could rack some havoc on the terrorists if they make their move. But Neo has his number already. The Uzi comes around the corner, blazing away. Taz gets himself the second on the B bomb site, and Taz actually comes back after turning around the corner for a second to check the back. Speedy falls in front of him. Crystal is the last man standing for the CTs, and he's somewhere in B. Trying to catch somebody from the back, but it won't actually happen. Taz has his angle covered and gets himself the 3rd frag on the board. You know, if you buy 3 AKs or 1 Galil and 2 AKs, you expect the guys with the rifles to pick up the frags, and Taz did what he was supposed to do. He supported his teammates, he got himself the frags, and he allowed Virtus.pro to take home the 2nd round of the 2nd half in the first map here in a best-of-2 series of the Global Offensive Champions League, brought to you by Dreams Media. And 99 Damage, of course, takes over the coverage for the German and the English part. Penta now with another approach in the save round. They are fully saving. Only Dennis has a P250, and they try to go for the B bomb site retake after that aggressive move on the A bomb site. They're swinging around, and the terrorists kind of expect that to happen already. Neo with a headshot onto Speedy, but Dennis goes to work. Dennis with a 2nd frag. The P250 certainly paid off as Nex takes out Snacks. It's a 2v2 situation, and the CTs could get a few more frags, even though they won't be able to defuse the bomb anymore, as the time was running low. They had the potential to make it very, very expensive. At least they made it expensive for Virtus.pro, but the Poles will not worry about the money right now. As you can see yourself, 6k for Taz, 5k for Bialy, 2.7 and 2.9 for Snacks. That's more than enough money for the terrorists for now. But if Penta wins 2 consecutive rounds, the terrorists could run into some trouble, and Crystal makes it look good. But Neo with that instant headshot there on the A approach. Crystal comes back with his AWP in the close quarter fight, making it a 4v3 situation. And Neo's down to 22 HP as well, so the terrorists in a dire situation now. They need to work their way out of that, and they try to make it happen on the B bomb site, leaving Pasha behind to cover their backs, and send Snacks and Neo to take it to the B bomb site. Dennis already spots one of them, retreats into the deeper parts of the bomb site to have some additional cover, and of course to call in for some rotation for his teammates. Virtus.pro not out of this round yet. They just need to get those opening frags. Now the CTs on a full rotation. There are 4 players on the B bomb site. The terrorists are walking into a wall of blue, and Dennis with his frag on the B bomb site on the pillar, making it another one, and a little bit overextending there. Maybe got on top of his own aim, as Next now has Pasha pinned down. No problem for Penta. They all had his position, and Penta with the first rifle round in the second half, doing what they are expected to do, at least after winning the after losing the pistol round. They are supposed to take the rifle round on the CT-sided map. Let's take a look on the scoreboard. Taz with 18 frags, 16 for Bialy. And on the other side we have 17 for Nex for Penta Sports. Now with a spread out setup, and they get the two opening frags, both in drop zone. Snacks and Taz open up the B bomb set in a second. And the terrorists are all over the place. Now B is being swarmed by them. They don't know that there's still somebody around, but they actually want to make it happen on the A bomb site, coming in from both directions. They dispose of Crystal, who had no chance against that pinching movement by the terrorists. And Next just tries to get out of there with his life. He's down to 23 HP, and there's no reason to risk his rifle. Penta winning the rifle, losing the second rifle will enable Virtus.pro to keep on the momentum and to have their bank accounts filled with money. Next just crouching behind that stone. Oh, popping up. Good game sense by him, kind of estimating when the terrorists are close to him, as Pasha was almost dropped by him as well. And well, Pasha still got out on top of that, capped his rifle and made it 12-8. Now Virtus.pro is looking better by the second. The CTs need to save, and there is not much that Penta can do for this round. They dropped the Nova for Troubly. Let's see where he will take that. Bialy smokes out for the B bomb site, and 4 CTs waiting in there for the terrorist push. One of them gets a frag, it is Next, but Taz and Snacks chime in, make it a 3v4 situation. The terrorists already in control of the bomb site. Putting down the C4 is Bialy, and it's a 1v4 now thanks to another frag by Snacks. And Snacks with his third of the round in the anti-eco round, 13-8. Virtus.pro now taking it to, well, they are still not out. There is still a huge possibility for the CTs to come back, but it is a steeper mountain to climb than it was at the beginning of this half. And maybe Penta thought, we won the rifle round, now it's going to be easy. But it's certainly not easy if you play Virtus.pro. The Poles always up for a good fight, and they are the favorites, of course, in this matchup. Looking strong on the terrorist side. I didn't necessarily expect them to be that strong. Of course, after the pistol round, you know it's going to be a 3-round streak. But to pick up those 2 rounds after the first rifle round was a huge bonus for them. As Penta loses their first player early on, Troubly still with a max 7. Couldn't pick up any rifle whatsoever. And the CTs are trying to go for the boost into drop zone, trying to get some information. Crystal hops up. Let's see what he can do with that position. He's still smoked off, but he pushes through the smoke and he spots himself the frag. He almost missed it onto Snacks, but it's a 4v4 situation, or a 4v3 thanks to Nex, who makes a stand on the B bomb site. Taz comes back, makes it a temporarily 3v3 situation. Suddenly everybody on the terrorist side got dropped by Crystal and Troubly, but Taz is still alive and he's got the bomb with him. He just needs to put it down, and he expects the CTs to be close. He goes for the money and he spots one of the CTs coming closer. He's got 10 seconds on the clock, and Troubly will end his killing spree. Taz was once again stepping it up and almost won that round for Virtus.pro after Penta got themselves the advantage thanks to Crystal, who pushed into the back, caused some trouble for the terrorists, made them worry about their backs. Virtus.pro still enough money to buy up, however, and Penta is still struggling. They have 2 P90s on Speedy and Nex. Let's see where they are. They are over here on the B bomb site. So both of the P90s are in the same position. Penta hoping that they will run into some close quarter combats. Dennis just gets out with his life barely. Then goes down to Taz's AK. Speedy and Nex on the retake with the P90. Speedy hoses down one. Nex hoses down a second one. He keeps spraying through the smoke but doesn't actually connect to anyone over there. As Penta on the quick rotation. They don't know that Pasha is coming in from the back, but Speedy with another P90 frag onto Snacks. Now Pasha gave away his position and goes down to Troubly. It's Neo alone against 4 CTs. And they don't know where the bomb is, so they expect Neo to be on the A bomb side. They are rotating back over here as Troubly and Speedy make their way to the A bomb set. Neo is doing the same and he spots himself the first target. He gets a frag as well, but Speedy with the reply. Penta stays alive, makes it 13 to 10 with the double P90 setup on the B bomb side. Maybe they thought of that strategy. Actually, it is not too bad if you consider all that smoke that is around the B bomb side over here, and maybe even over here. The CTs usually get caught in this kind of area, and if you have a P90 you can just spray those. Maybe you don't necessarily have to spray 50 bullets in there, but you can spray 30 bullets through the smoke and still have 20 for a close quarter combat. And if you have a weird angle, you can shift the aim of your opponent and actually get out on top with the SMG. Now Virtus.pro tries to go for the B bomb set once again against 3 CTs. Neo with the P250 taking point, going down to Dennis. Now it's Taz on the pillar already, trying to fight it up with Dennis, but Dennis comes out on top, makes it a 5v2 situation. Now it's only Bialy standing for the terrorist squad. He gets himself 1 frag. He needs to make it 4 in this round if he wants to win it for his team. He gets 1 additional frag, but Speedy is around the corner. And once again, it's Speedy to get that refrag after his teammate died. Penta inching closer, making it 2-round difference between them and Virtus.pro. Now it's a terrorist time to get back on track. An AWP for Pasha, Galil for Bialy. On the other side, we have an AWP for Dennis, so it's not Crystal picking it up, but it's his long-term squad member who have the scope in his hands. Crystal now will play the support role for Troubly. As you can see, he already has pulled the pin on his flash grenade. He just waits for the right moment to pop that in and make Troubly peek. And at the same time, Virtus.pro sends Snacks forward into the B bomb site and has 4 players over at A long. Just trying to slowly check all those corners over there and don't lose any players while getting closer to the A bomb site. And they jiggle around the bomb a little bit, sending 2 players through long, and now they have control over main A and the side entrance to A as well. So they are about to execute, but they are still smoked off, so the CTs can call in for the rotation. Nex is already on the side, trying to help his teammates to hold on to the bomb site, and Virtus.pro sent the bomb towards the B bomb site, so the fake got sold perfectly as Krista goes to work through the smoke onto Pasha. As they have the better position, the terrorists are moving in from the B bomb site. Nobody expected that to happen, but Dennis and Nex get themselves the frags. Nex with the possibility to take down Neo, and he will make that spray happen. Penta surviving that very well played strategy by Virtus.pro. They initially had 3 players over here taking control of that department of the map, setting 2 players on A long. They had 1 to cover middle. And then they send 1 player over here, and together they attack the B bomb site with Snacks, who was waiting here and had control of the B bomb site throughout the whole round, so no CT can squeeze in, and he had that part secured so that his teammates can move up faster. Then Virtus.pro wanted to go to the A bomb site, but it wasn't happening. Now Dennis with that auto scope hoses down 3 of the terrorists in this anti-eco round. Snacks is desperate to get something back on the board. He picked up the AK, but he's going to the wrong bomb site. There's nobody left inside A. He is looking for some frags, but the CT's already rotated towards the B bomb site, and the C4 is over here as well. So Snacks either has a very long time to save with 53 seconds on the clock, or he just goes in and tries to remove a few additional weapons. Penta now lined up perfectly for whichever approach Snacks is taking. But well, Snacks is still up for a fight, takes out Speedy. Now the CTs reposition themselves accordingly to the terrorist position. Dennis has him pinned down. 4th frag for him with the auto scope. 13 to 13. Penta is coming back. As I said, they are not out of this game yet. It's still a CT-sided cobblestone. So Snacks with 24 frags, Taz with 23. And on the other side we have Nex with 26 and 19 for Dennis. 4 of which have been in the previous round. Virtus.pro back on the 5-man AK setup. After that brief, more or less, pause or relax round with the Tech 9s. They are back to real gameplay, and it once again sends Snacks into the B bomb site. He spots the auto scope, plays around with Dennis. Now Dennis knows that he's exposed too much. Snacks gets a frag nonetheless, but in the meantime, Bialy got dropped and Neo goes down to 21 HP as well. The CTs on the A bomb site need to hold off the terrorists just a few more seconds. Crystal with a double spray, and he follows it up with a 3rd. No, actually it was Speedy from afar taking him down, and Crystal still gets his 4th frag. If Speedy wasn't there, it would have been an ace, but well, Crystal is happy to take down 4 in a row on the A main entrance. Penta winning this round and making it 14 to 13, back in the lead for the Germans. And it's been a long time for them. 6 rounds winning streak, just like they had on the terrorist side. Virtus.pro needs to keep them from the match point, and it's 5 AK standing between the Germans and the match point, and one of them sends a bullet to the direction of Crystal, who happily catches that with his teeth. 4v5 situation. The autoscope is still on the B bomb site, and the CTs still waiting for that final push as Dennis goes to work with his autoscope. Troubley spots himself one target, puts him down from behind. Neo didn't expect him, and Troubley with that patient play, he was waiting for maybe another terrorist to make his way over there, maybe get a double kill, but he expected that. He knew, okay, there's nobody else coming. So as Pasha pushes forward with Taz, it's a 2v3 situation. Pasha cleans up the A bomb site with his teammate, and together they will plant the bomb. Pasha with a 3rd frag. Oh my god, he's making it almost as close as he can as Troubley moves in and still gets the kill. Pasha once again almost made it happen in another situation where the terrorists were almost down and out already. He was the man of the first 3 rounds in this matchup, and he couldn't make it through. 3 amazing frags by the biceps, however. Penta with the 15th round. In the end, it doesn't help you. You still need your teammates. Sometimes it's not enough to pick up 3 frags, as the 2 remaining players on the enemy team can do the same. And now it's Bialy and Snacks exploding on the B bomb site, trying to do their best to keep Penta from winning that first map. But Nex is fighting back. 3v4 situation. The terrorists on the move already, and they have a very good position. Neo blows up Nex. It's a 2v4. Now a 1v4. Troubley, the last man for the Germans, and he's down to 24 HP, hiding away already. Virtus.pro make it happen on the B bomb site, and they captured themselves an auto scope for Neo. So they will move closer to Penta, and let's take a look at the CT's money. Not looking too strong, but they can, of course, reinforce that Troubley can drop for one of his teammates. Maybe Germans. Oh, good position by Troubley to save his weapon in. It will be 14 to 15, and the CT's money doesn't look too good. Let's see what it looks like after that. Well, Troubley is actually not able to drop, and nobody is actually able to do anything decent with this amount of money. They go for a P90 once again, a 5.7 for Crystal, a Scout for Speedy, and an M4A1 for Dennis, but no head armor. And only a very limited range of nades for the CTs. Virtus.pro on the other side on a full buy, of course. after winning that previous round, 14-15. Will Virtus.pro draw it and take it to overtime, or will Penta win the first map in this best of 2 series? Virtus.pro on the B bomb set once again. They feel it's been the most successful approach, and they get the first trade. Next with his P90, made it count. Taz with a reply, but still kind of makes it look better for the CTs to get a frag with that SMG as Dennis puts down Pasha. Bialy tries to recover. He gets a headshot onto Dennis. 3v3 situation. The CTs on a very hard spot as they get swamped from every direction. Trouble makes a stand but goes down to Bialy, who got himself the 3rd frag of the round. Now it's Neo and Bialy against Crystal, who's moving in from behind, picking up that rifle and trying to keep this terrorist from drawing the game. Still, the bomb is not planted. Neo just puts it down right now, allowing Crystal to get close and to have a decent shot at retaking that bomb site. He still has a flash, and that deconate will not be of any use for him. But Bialy just waits for the smoke to clear as soon as Crystal flashes out. Crystal goes down to Bialy. 4 kills for him, and he made that draw happen. 15-15, so we will go into an overtime in the second match in the Go Champions League already. Great effort by Virtus.pro to fight back and make it to the overtime when Penta was on the doorstep of winning it already. And Virtus.pro can obviously thank Bialy for that 15-15 scoreline. Now, best of 5 overtime, it looks like. But only 5k? No. Definitely not 16k, but maybe the overlay is wrong as well. Now, Penta still on the CT side, that's a fact that I know. And Speedy goes down to Taz on the drop zone. Early 4v5 advantage for the terrorists. And it's probably a best max round 3 overtime, even though it shows that there are 10 rounds in the first overtime. It is start money 10k, so it would be weird to have MR5. Neo with another frag onto Crystal on the entrance. Good job by Virtus.pro sweeping the A bomb site. Troubley is the man to reinforce it, and he gets himself the headshot as well before going down to Bialy. 2v4 situation now. Next down to 18 HP. The CTs could think about saving their rifles already. They could run out of money in the last round if they just throw those rifles away, and that's what they do. They send Dennis out with the AWP, and Next stays back on the B bomb site to cover him in case any terrorists make their move to remove that AWP. Terrorists win. So Virtus.pro maintain the momentum that they had from the last round of the second half, and they just pulled through with the first round of the overtime. Now it's Penta's time to make up for that. They need to take down the next 2 rounds if they want to have anything to say in this overtime at all. Now Penta with the normal 3-man stack over at the B bomb site, and Virtus.pro with a 5-man stack in front of B, trying to get a swift entry over there, and no faking going on for the Polish side. The CT is not rotating either, but Pasha with that shot through the smoke onto Dennis, then goes down to Nex. Pasha going down as Bialy moves in, gets himself the re-frag after Nex went down, and Speedy with another refrag onto Bialy. Now it's Taz and Snacks on top of the bomb site, taking down Crystal. Troubley is the last man standing for the CTs now. Troubley once again needs to save his rifle Virtus.pro will make it 17-15 and have a really good shot at winning this overtime. In the meantime, the admins are talking about the overtime settings. It seems like we have max round 5 with 10k start money. And I'm not quite sure if they want to stick to it. As Pasha with a double kill before he gets dropped by Speedy. 3v4 situation in favor of the terrorists right now. And once again, they are on the B bomb site. They really feel that is the weakness. On the CT squad, Dennis and Bialy exchange blows. Bialy with a second before being dropped by Dennis. 2v1 situation. Dennis needs to pick up 2 more frags for the Germans to prolong this match. Otherwise, Virtus.pro will have a 3-round streak in the overtime, and he goes down to Neo, 18-15. And yeah, we are... Well, it is really weird. Yeah, it was going around my head all the time, because MR5 with 10k is kind of weird, especially for the CTs. As they now have to save in and it looks like Taz is getting pumped up for Katowice already, taunting his enemies, mega paws and all that. Penta now in a very dire situation. They are running down their economy. They probably didn't think of the possibility that it might be MR5 with 10k start money, so they threw away all their money. Now they only have a few P250s and a 5.7 against those AKs in the hands of Virtus.pro. It will be very hard for them, to say the least. Neo with the frag onto Next. Troubly in drop zone with a P250. Dang it, Next snacks down to 29 HP as well, but Neo comes in from behind onto Dennis and disposes of Speedy as well. 4v2 now in favor of the terrorists, in control of the B bomb site on top of everything. It's only Troubly over there, and he goes down to Bialy. Snacks will take down Crystal in the meantime. And it's 19-15 in favor of Virtus.pro. Now another rifle round for Penta. And they go for an autoscope for Nex, even though he lacks the armor. It will be hard as soon as he gets spotted and aim punched. He will barely be able to control his aim. And Virtus.pro now on a roll with 5 rounds in a row. Troubly with the first onto Taz, however, making it look good for the CTs. 4v5 now. Troubly in a bad position, however. He needs to remove himself. He needs to get into cover, and he goes out into the open. Snacks drops him easily. Snacks on a roll. Snacks with the second of the round, making it a 2v3 situation. Now the bomb goes down as well, and Snacks needs to cover Neo. Takes a nade down to 45 HP. CT's coming in from every direction. And they need to work together really good. As Snacks! Oh no, Neo was it with Crystal. Snacks with the refrag, but Snacks puts down Dennis. It's a 1v1 situation, and Snacks wins it with the AK. 4 kills for Snacks, 20-15 in the end of this first half of the overtime. Now we will head on to the second half of the overtime, and as you can see yourself, it's 10k start money. The setting in the future will be 16k start money for the MR5, so the usual setting that we are all used to. And now let's see what Penta is able to do on the terrorist side. They are going for the B bomb side. They think maybe it's a weak spot for Virtus.pro as well. It was a weak spot for us, but Taz and Bialy put a stop to the initial push. Make it a 3v4 situation. Then it's down to 30 HP, and now dropped by Bialy. 43 for Troubly, and he goes to work onto Bialy, making it a 2v3 again. keeping the hopes high for his team, but Neo moves in to reinforce the position, and he will put down 2 in a swift movement. 21-15 in favor of